What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. You know, we're pumping out a bunch of content right now, and all of it is to help you guys catch some more bass. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe if you guys are new. I really appreciate it. I see all you guys commenting all the time. The subscribers been growing like crazy. We've grown this channel a bunch over the last couple months, so I really appreciate all you guys, and I really appreciate everybody tuning in and watching this video. But today we're talking about drop shotting, and more specifically the hooks that you use for drop shotting. So there's a few different hooks that I like for drop shotting, kind of depending on the situation, the cover, the species of fish, the bait you're using. So we're going to kind of dive in, talk all those things, kind of get into the nitty-gritty of drop shot hooks and what I like to use them for. So if you guys are ready, let's jump in and talk all about some drop shot hooks. All right, guys, so drop shotting is, one of my favorite techniques, and it's so popular. It just always gets bites. The fish will never get conditioned to a drop shot. There's so many different baits you can put on it. It's just the fact of a bait sitting, 12 inches, 16 inches off of the bottom that those fish just cannot stand. So this hook right here is probably my most used on a drop shot. It's the Trocar TK 180, and this is the 2/0 size. So I specifically like the 2/0 size for all of my worm fishing. So this is more of, your straight tail drop shot worms, like a cliffhanger worm, a Yamamoto Pro Cinco, a Robo worm, things like that. That's what I'm using with this hook right here. It has a great keeper on the top, so you can rig up those worms and it's not going to slide down the shank of the hook. It's got some great gap, so you're going to get a good hookup ratio on this hook. Excuse me. And then the number 2 size, the 2/0 size, the wire is very strong. It's not too thin, it's not too big. It's the perfect diameter hook that I like for my drop shot. Typically you're throwing a drop shot on a spinning rod. I use braided line to a fluorocarbon leader. So I would say I'm typically using 8 to 12 pound fluorocarbon, with 15-pound braid on there. So you're not using extremely heavy line, but that spinning rod, you could still straighten out a light wire hook if you gave, put the juice to them. So the perfect wire is this 2/0 size, and it handles all of those straight tail worms perfectly. And like I said, this is probably my most used. I will up to a 3/0 size if I'm using a much bigger worm, but typically I don't use much more than the 3/0 for a drop shot. So this is for all my worm fishing. Like I said, for brush pile fishing, if I'm just dragging fishing a ledge on the Tennessee River, throwing a drop shot, that's when I'm going with this guy right here. But the other style of drop shotting is really like your smallmouth drop shotting, where you're kind of out in the Great Lakes, open water, not a whole lot of cover around, and you go with more of a nose hook style. So this right here is the TK 150, and I have one right here. That's your standard nose hook style drop shot hook. It has an excellent gap on it as well. It stands up perfectly when you tie it on the line. So you can nose hook your baits and still have a good hook gap there, be able to catch those fish. But the TK 150 has put a bunch of fish in my boat here lately. I've used this hook for the last probably 6-7 years, and it's been an excellent choice. But we got together with the guys at Eagle Claw and Trocar, and we're like, how can we make this hook better? We wanted to come up with just a little bit better hook for the nose hook and drop shot. And what we did is we added the Pro V bend to the TK 150. So it's going to be kind of hard to see without them side by side. But you see this top one has the Pro V bend right here in the bend of that hook. And this is your standard TK150. So I'm really excited about that. I've had these for a little bit now. You know, I've got to test them. This is a brand new hook that's just coming out this year. So that Pro V bend, you guys see me use it on all different style of hooks, round bend hooks, straight shank hooks, my Nico finesse hook, wacky rig hook. They all have that Pro V bend, and the science behind it has proven again and again. Once you hook a fish with that Pro V bend, he cannot throw that hook. He's not coming off. So we've decided to bring that same science to the drop shot hook. And that's exactly what we've done here. So this will be coming out this year, coming soon. It's the TK150 VP. So that right there is it's going to be a game changer. I mean, if you ever had any issues losing fish on your drop shot, this is going to be the hook that I recommend you try, because that Pro V bend really sticks those fish once you hook them. So I wanted to just bring this to you guys. Like I said, this is a brand new hook. You're going to want to check these out. They're coming out this year, and definitely going to want to try these this spring, summer. Once you start drop shotting for those big smallmouth, this hook right here is going to put them in the boat. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Leave me those comments down below. I'm curious what you think of the new hook and what hook you guys like to use for a drop shot. Am I totally off base here? Do you guys use similar hooks, or am I totally out in left field? I'm curious what you guys think, so leave those comments down below. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time.